The playoffs are here, and you can predict the action all the way to the finals with FanDuel Predicts. Predict the spread, the total points, and even the game-winning moments that make the playoffs. Sign up and get a $25 bonus with FanDuel Predicts.
Offered by FanDuel Prediction Markets, LLC, a registered futures commission merchant. 18-plus bonus is non-withdrawable and expires 7 days after receipt. Trading derivatives involves significant risk and may not be suitable for all investors. Manage your activity with their consumer protection tools. Restrictions apply. See terms at FanDuel.com/predicts/bonus-offer-terms.
Now, from New York City to the world, it's Dominic Carter.
And the number to reach me this hour, 800-848-9222. Can you hear them now? Thousands show up to protest against New York's socialist mayor and anti-Semitism on his watch in the Big Apple, while at the same time chanting, praising the New York City Police Department.
Let's thank our NYPD for keeping us safe. Every single community deserves to feel safe, and we will never demonize those who are working day and night to make sure we do. Thank you, NYPD. NYPD! 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 NYPD!
This while tonight in Texas, a big MAGA victory. President Trump is on a roll with his winning endorsements. Trump ally Ken Paxton defeats John Cornyn in a bitter Texas GOP primary war for the Senate seat, and now Paxton faces Democrat James Tallarico in a race that could decide the GOP's slim 53-47 Senate majority. And guess what, folks? Also that clown, Congressman Al Green, the Democrat, the guy with the cane, and he's always disrupting President Trump's State of the Union address. Guess what? Bye-bye. He lost his primary runoff tonight in Texas as well. The winner in Texas of the Republican primary, making his comments a short time ago, Trump ally Ken Paxton.
When everyone in Washington told him to abandon me and abandon the people of Texas, he didn't listen. Instead, he gave his complete and total endorsement. President Trump is the leader of our party, and his endorsement in this is the most powerful force in politics. And I'm honored to have his support, and I look forward to working with him in the Senate to deliver for Texas. Tonight, we just sent a Texas-sized message to Washington. I said it in March, and I'll say it again now. Today, change was on the ballot, and change won. Let me be clear, this is not just my win, this is your win. We just proved that this Senate seat doesn't belong to Washington. It belongs to you, the hardworking men and women of this state. We went up against $150 million in all the attacks in the world, and you know what happened? The voters declared loud and clear a simple truth that we know in our hearts and in our souls: Texas is not for sale.
So there you have it, the winner of the Republican primary with the strong backing of President Trump. Is not over yet. You've got the general election, and the Democrat is ahead in the polls for this Senate seat, but the incumbent, John Cornyn, conceding.
I've spent most of my time in the Senate building the Republican Party in Texas and in the U.S. Senate, and I've always supported the Republican ticket, and I intend to do so again in this general election. I've said throughout this race that I trust the voters of Texas, and they've made their decision, and I must respect it.
So there you have it, folks. Big news out of Texas, but also out of New York City. Thousands turn out to protest against Mamdani. His policies are not working. The anti-Semitism occurring against the Jewish community while City Hall completely looks the other way. 800-848-9222. So they showed up because they want Governor Hochul, the governor of New York State, to remove Mamdani from office. She's the only one. Folks, here in New York, there is no recall election process, nothing like that. No signatures to get a person removed from office to start the process. The only way the mayor of New York City can be removed from office is through the governor of the state of New York. So a big message for Mamdani tonight: to stop with your slick games, because people can see exactly where you're coming from. But perhaps an even bigger message tonight for the incumbent governor of New York State, up for re-election, Kathy Hochul. And the message loud and clear: Madam Governor, if you don't do something, we the people will. You're the one on the ballot this year, not Mamdani. You're the one that can lose your seat. And so the governor, she has to be paying close attention. Thousands of people turning out at the mayor's residence to protest just a few hours ago.
It's the ideology of Hamas. It's the ideology of Hezbollah and Muslim Brotherhood right here in our midst, in our country. Same ideology. Just saying I'm a Muslim does not give you, Mr. Mamdani, the permission to make Jewish New Yorkers feel unsafe.
And that was one of the Muslim leaders speaking. Yes, some Muslim leaders joined the protests outside the mayor's residence. And boy, this story just keeps growing, because a New York City Democrat Socialist councilwoman condemned the Muslim organizers that were part of this protest to hell in a vile post slamming the pro-Israel protests. So this is a council member that's a socialist that sides with Mamdani and the Palestinian side, and it is despicable. 800-848-9222. Let's start with your telephone calls. Silas, Staten Island. What's on your mind, Silas? Line 3.
Yeah, exactly the way they're being blatant about their hatred for Jews and hatred.
When you say
for
there, who are you talking about? I don't know who you're talking about.
Oh, Mandami, and there's and lots of people who are running for office here and all.
Okay,
they're not hiding their hatred for it anymore. They're making it perfectly clear to you. To break it down to people, if you introduce termites and roaches and rats into a house, you don't have to direct them. They'll do what they do, and they will destroy that home. And if you put people from other cultures into this state, not only put them in here, but pay them to be here and make it comfortable for them. And when they commit crimes, you put them back on the street. You make New York just as uncomfortable as you would make that home if you infest it with all kinds of different cultures and people who don't belong here. And then they talk about housing. Well, how can you have affordable housing and affordable rents if there is a certain amount of apartments, and then you flood the place with 1 million more people who take those apartments? If you had those illegals out of here, that would make apartments more available to the people who do belong here. And as far as Mandami being out, if we don't put Bruce Blakeman in there, now look at this for a strategy. Blakeman gets him to be governor because that's the only stopgap there is against the mayor. And then if Elise Stefanik comes back and runs for mayor, how about that scenario?
Nah, that's not realistic at all. That's not realistic at all.
If she doesn't, I just pray that Blakeman gets into it, and I pray people wake up and remove Hochul because that Mandami owns her. She will jump.
That is true. Silas, I hear you. I got to move on. Thank you for the call. Dominic Carter here with you folks, 800-848-9222. Let's hear the poison of the night. Walter in Baltimore. What's on your mind, Walter?
Yes. I have no poison. I want to comment on...
Oh, you have poison every time you call, including when you called last week disguising your voice and you didn't think I realized that it was you. Go ahead.
What do you... I never disguised
Go ahead
voice.
with your point. What's your point? I don't have all day for you. What's your point?
I'm talking about Al Green.
Okay, what's your point?
He has a ponytail. I don't trust people with ponytails. I'm glad he's out, okay? It's slovenly, it's disheveled, and it's wrong for a leader to have that. That's what I wanted to say.
Okay, thank you for that great enlightening moment. Let's go to Sandra in New Jersey, line 2. What's on your mind, Sandra?
That was such a funny phone call. I wanted to say that when I was reading about the protest tonight, I was so happy to see that two leaders, two women, Anila Ali and Ziba Zibandessa, they're Muslims, and they are supporting the Israel people. I was delighted. Then all of a sudden, I see hate coming out from Shahana Hanif, condemning them because they were they were supporting this protest, and she was basically saying they should go to hell. This is where the hate comes in, from these council people that start out in Congress, at that level, and then progress and become more heard. So she's evil, this woman. And those two women that were there supporting a good cause, caring about the people, that's my point, that we don't need people like that are so hateful and evil and saying such horrible things, all because, I don't know, Dominic.
Well, I hear you, Sandra. It's the way of the world. People say horrible things. I can't tell you why. Maybe because they wanted a pony when they were 5 years old and mommy and daddy didn't get them a pony. I don't know. And then they grow up with hatred, and it just expands. And thank you for the call. And they want to. They're miserable. And, folks, you should look at some of the comments on my social media. Simply because I'm a black man that supports Trump. As a black man, I'm supposed to be out there with my dashiki on, talking about no justice, no peace. Now, as long as I do that, everything is fine. Everything is dandy. It's just wonderful. But you say black man supporting Trump, the poison comes out. They just lose their minds. 800-848-9222.
It's Dominic Carter. Listen to this podcast now
on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Cop Talk, hosted by Kevin Schroeder.
Richie Sharp, Jonathan Diller was killed in a line of duty. Blood. Disgusting. And he got off on the top charge, this murderer. He got off.
Yeah.
You got to be kidding me. Meanwhile, you're trying to get this perpetrator in handcuffs. You shouldn't have to worry about anything. The public, instead of standing there, taking a video, should be maybe helping the police officer taking a video.
Download all of Red Apple Media's podcasts right now through your favorite podcast platform.
The Marine Toys for Tots foster care program is bringing hope to children who need it most. Every 2 minutes, a child enters foster care, often with only a small bag of belongings. More than 400,000 children face trauma and uncertainty, many before age 8. This May, during Foster Care Awareness Month, Toys for Tots is creating Room for Joy. In 2025, nearly 375,000 children received comfort through toys, books, and essentials, reminding them they are not alone. Donate now and change a child's life.
This is the Worldwide News Network.
Extra. A play put on at a Chicago public school on the South Side has drawn a lot of controversy. A group of African American legislators in Illinois calling on the school to be held accountable, including Democratic State Senator Lakeisha Collins, who's the chair of the Illinois Black Caucus. She's denouncing a Carver High School performance that depicted Latino students auctioning off black students as slaves.
CPS, when I heard their initial response to this, was unacceptable. CPS needs to hold them all accountable. I want to know who viewed it, and I think the public should know that.
She says she was horrified watching the video from a 2025 Black History Month assembly. Collins went on to say the play minimizes the trauma that her ancestors endured while pitting minority communities against each other. I'm James Flippin, and this is the Worldwide News Network.
Now, from New York City to the world, it's Dominic Carter.
So coming up, business leader Jamie Dimon on Fox issuing a warning to Mamdani. Mamdani admitting that another business billionaire, Ken Griffin, has ghosted him. Mamdani can't get him on the phone after that viral video. But then Mamdani doubles down on billionaires like Jeff Bezos paying what he calls their fair share of taxes. Is that like Mamdani when you were staying in that rent-stabilized apartment to a degree, not paying your fair share of market rent? That little issue you had that just went away? Some of us have not forgotten that. Also, another headline making news at this hour, Pam Bondi, the former attorney general, and it seems like this is popping up a lot with women lately these days, diagnosed with thyroid cancer shortly after President Trump removed her as attorney general, according to a report. Back to your telephone calls, 800-848-9222. Line 1, Sal in New Jersey. Sal, what's on your mind?
Good morning, Dominic. Dominic, the fact that Mikey Sherrill and Andy Kim went to an ICE facility instead of celebrating Memorial Day just reinforces the fact that the Democratic Party is anti-American.
I would agree with you. I don't know what, they pander the Democrat Party so much that I couldn't stomach it. I couldn't do it. I mean, to pander, you've got to know this is wrong. Going to an ICE facility, Madam Governor, you got to know you're not getting in. So what's the point of doing it? And for Senator Kim, I'm sorry that he was maced in the eyes and had to get some treatment. But maybe, like you said, Sal, maybe, Senator, you should have been spending your time more acknowledging our fallen in the military. Sal, you have the final word before I move on.
Yeah, that's true. And the thing is that my mom and all of us together, we were celebrating Memorial Day. We were watching the parades on TV, on C-SPAN, and we were celebrating together. It was terrible that our own representatives, our own leaders in government were doing that.
I hear you. It's not going to stop, unfortunately. Get used to it until they're voted out of office. It's that simple. Sal, thank you for the great call. Let's go to Michigan. And Greg, what's on your mind, Michigan? And Greg in Michigan.
Hey, Dom, Mr. Positive, boom shakalaka.
Now, do me a favor. Don't do that stupid boom shakalaka. Why do you do that?
Well, it means winning. I apologize.
Okay, but how do we all know it means winning?
Okay, well, I just told you.
It makes me think that you're off your rocker when you do that. I don't see what the winning point in doing that is.
Well, it's just always having a positive attitude.
So by calling up a radio show saying boom shakalaka, in your mind that's interpreted as positive?
Yeah, I do it with Chris Cuomo and Stephen A. Smith.
Do you think I care what you do with Chris Cuomo? I was in the game way before Chris was. Chris used to come up to me for advice as a kid. And as far as Stephen A., good luck to Stephen A. I don't care what you say to them. You're talking to Dominic right now. Greg, I'm not feeling it. Thank you for the call. I told you once before, don't call up with that nonsense, boom shakalaka. I'm supposed to know that that's positive. Well, I don't know, and I could care less what you say to Chris Cuomo and to Stephen A. Smith. Good for them if they tolerate it. 800-848-9222. We are coming right back.
Now, from New York City to the world, it's Dominic Carter.
So, folks, we have the big Senate primary in Texas tonight, in which it was a big night for the Trump-backed candidate winning the Republican primary. Moving on, also the big protest here in New York tonight against the socialist mayor, Mamdani. Let's just say with the business community, folks, socialism and billionaires, they don't go together. 800-848-9222. Well, Dominic, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? This is what I'm talking about. Jamie Dimon, in terms of going on Fox News, issuing this warning to Mamdani to either grow or fall behind. And right now, already he's talking about taking real estate from bad property owners. I wonder who'll get to make that decision. And he says the community will benefit. Yeah, right, Mamdani. Listen to Jamie Dimon, a billionaire, and billionaires are not feeling the socialist mayor of New York City.
Every city has to compete, and they have to compete at every level. Arts, science, schools. That is what it is. I'm not inventing that. He can be an ideologue. He has to compete too. He's got to compete with Shanghai and Hong Kong and Singapore and Nashville, and people vote with their feet. So it isn't this morality thing that people talk about. It's like, are you building a great city with lower crime and stuff like that?
Some of these businessmen have started to come out and push back. Is it helping?
I don't know. The thing about it is when you talk about a message of growth, that doesn't clock to people like Mamdani. It's antithetical to their message. It's antithetical to their platform of socialism to grow. They're all about equalizing everything, not about lifting all boats. And honestly, I thought Jamie Dimon and David Solomon could have been a lot more aggressive in their meeting with Mamdani. They kind of groveled to him and they said, oh, but look at how many great things our financial firms are doing in the philanthropic world. They shouldn't have to say that. They create value point blank. And Mamdani shouldn't have to give them carve-outs from tax hikes. They shouldn't have to be pleading with him for exceptions in order to thrive in New York City. There are thousands of people that are employed by their companies, middle class. They're creating wealth, and Mamdani is putting them in a really difficult situation.
And yes, he's putting the city of New York in a really difficult position. What is going on across the river in New Jersey?
The fight over immigration enforcement moved to a federal detention center in New Jersey over the weekend. Protesters clashed with ICE agents Sunday night into Monday morning. The protesters were there supporting detainees who have been on a labor and hunger strike. They claim the facility's conditions are inhumane. The Department of Homeland Security said protesters blocked the building's entrances. New Jersey Governor Mikey Sherrill and other Democratic officials say they have not been allowed inside.
And so they don't have a right to go inside. This has to be set up weeks, months in advance, and you can't just show up. And so, there are reports, and this is still going on, Delaney Hall, the facility in Newark, New Jersey, right? And the issue becomes this. There are so many complaints. If you believe all these things, for example, I don't even know if females at the facility, they're claiming that females at the facility are not receiving feminine hygiene products and so on. I find that very, very hard to believe. I find that extremely difficult to believe. Maybe it's true, but you're going to tell me that a woman is going through that process and she's not being given the products? I just find that very, very hard to believe. And here's one of the reasons why I find that hard to believe. You look at the video. Don't believe me. Look at the video. Woman with a bullhorn in an agent's face, yelling and screaming on the bullhorn. Well, guess what? He decided he had had enough and snatched it right out of her hand.
We believe that we can arrest our way towards safety. We're wrong. We ask police officers to. So
that is the mayor of Chicago. That's not the one that we are actually looking for. The one we're looking for. I see your calls coming in, by the way. 800-848-9222. And so I'm trying to find the exact number here, so it'll come back to me in just a second of the soundbite that we're looking for. But in the meantime, let's go to Robert in Philadelphia, line 1. Robert, what's on your mind?
Hey, Dominic, as always, it's wonderful to talk to you. And excuse me, I'm still chuckling at Mr. Boom Shakalaka.
Okay, so did you know, Robert, that that's supposed to mean positive? I didn't know.
No, I think that it could be a weirdo, but then again, it occurs to me we haven't heard from Russell in a long time, have we?
Well, we haven't heard from Russ. Are you referring to Russ in White Plains?
Yes, sir.
He's banned for a while, for at least a month on this program, because I'm sick of his anti-Semitism. And right. I try to give everybody a shot, but Russ is just poison. There are some people that's just poison. And I can't take it anymore.
No, I hear you, man. But that's what that's just my personal opinion. I think Greg is Ross, but that's just me. But I'll get to the point, and I actually had a question for you after my point. I was talking about the Texas Senate race, and I know that the polling, and I'd never pay attention to polling. I didn't know what the polling was until I heard you mention it. But it occurs to me that this Tallarico guy has a meat-free campaign, and he's telling people that God has pronouns. I really don't think that's going to win across Texas. I can't see that winning. I think that's the exact opposite of Texas culture, And
who was the other candidate in Texas? The white guy that was apologizing on race every 5 minutes. His name escapes me.
It escapes me too.
I forgot his name, but he was apologizing for everything, and it was like, dude, you make me want to throw up. Come on, sit down. You can't be sorry for everything.
Well, I think the Republicans are going to wind up with 55 seats after the midterms, but there's plenty of time to talk about that. But I had a question for you, since you're so knowledgeable of the New York political scene. Do you think there's any chance that what Mondami is doing in New York will affect the congressional races out in New York this time around? Because I know the Republicans are at a big disadvantage as far as the number of districts that they have.
Yeah, to be honest with you, Robert, completely honest, the Mamdani effect is going to help in the primary far left Democrats, because they're talking to a bunch of people that are ill-informed on the issues, and they're going to buy into the nonsense of what. If you go to any Mamdani event, you either love them or you hate them, and the people that love them, I don't want to offend anybody. I mean, how could you know so little about politics? Because this guy smiles at you and tells you what you want to hear. You believe him?
And there's a lot of people that do that, right? I mean, yeah. Yeah,
Indeed.
I hear you, man. I hope it has a big effect out there in New York, but it was just lovely to hear what you had to say about it, Tom. I appreciate the time, and you have a great week.
I appreciate the time as well. Thank you so much. So this guy calls up. I've never heard of anything like boom shakalaka. What the hell are you talking about? Anyway, so let's go back to what's happening in Newark, New Jersey, the ICE detention center. This woman has a bullhorn. You know, everybody has a breaking point, and she's up in this agent's face. And if you've ever witnessed a bullhorn, it can be very loud. She's inches away from his face, screaming into the bullhorn. And you can look at his face, and you can see him going 1001, 1002, 1003, and then finally he snatched it out of her hand.
Fetch a man! All the way, fetch a man! Oh, shit! That's it. Yeah. Oh, what do you do? What are you gonna do? Back up! Put your hands on his head! Back up! Let me see! Where's the medical? Where's the medical? You will not touch these children!
Cocoa Puffs. Cool for Cocoa Puffs. Trying to entice federal agents until they get shot in the face. And then they want to be a martyr. Just like in Minnesota. Just like in Minneapolis. Entice. And then you get shot in the face and I'm a victim. No, you're not. No, you're not at all. 800-848-9222. Let's go to Joan, line 2, Port Jefferson. Joan, what's on your mind?
You know what? The only thing that is a comforting thought that Mamdani and his followers and Hochul, they should realize that they are chasing out the funders of their New York State pensions. The people that are going to pay for it, they're chasing them out. So I don't know how they expect to get retirement. The people that are paying all the taxes are leaving the state.
Hey, Joan, I hear you, and in theory, I agree with you. Do you think these radical nuts can think that far?
Dominic, there's one other thing I want to say. I feel very gratified tonight as a reminder to the country and the mainstream media about Trump's power, his authority, and his leadership.
Absolutely.
His leadership. There's no question that he is the leader of the country, despite gas prices and everything else. This man has the power and the strength to do what's needed.
What needs to be done? Go ahead and clear your throat there, Joan. It happens to all of us.
After so many years, we have somebody that knows what has to be done.
Correct.
And has the strength and the heart and the love for the country to do it.
Correct.
God bless him. You know what? He'll save us and our children and the next generation.
Right. And that's what he's working on. Joan, thank you for the wonderful call. As Joan was making point by point, and I'm trying to remember what television show this is from. I wanted to say Correctamundo. And so that's from some TV show, but I just don't remember which one. Rose, line 3, Long Island. What's on your mind, Rose?
Hi, Dominic. Thanks for taking my call. Always great to talk to you. I just want to say I'd like to see Ilhan Omar deported, but only after she does about 20 years. There has to be a deterrent. Let her do 20 years in jail. I'd be happy. That's it, and then they could get rid of her.
Okay,
That's
so 20 years in prison and then get rid of her.
Absolutely, you can't just get rid of her. What deterrent is there?
So let me ask you a question. So let me ask you a question, Rose. When she's in jail, right, and let's just say some big-looking female approaches her, right,
Right.
Do you think she's going to say the Constitution says that I can criticize? How well you think that's going to work over with some big, large female? How well you think that's going to work, Rose? You think she's going to do that?
I don't give a rat's fat ass. I don't give a rat's fat ass what this one says. I'm sick of you know what, Dominic? I'm sick of it all. I'm sick of the ICE protests. I want my country back. I want my state back, and I want my city back. And I want this guy Mandami, out. He
Right.
shouldn't be in there. And whatever.
It's disgusting that he was elected the mayor of New York City. Because I say this all the time, and so I guess I'm going to get one of these prank phone calls talking about the caller's Governor David Paterson of New York. He keeps having his lackey idiot supporters call me up, and that's Mr. 7%. Rose, thank you for the call. We wouldn't be in this position if not for Curtis Sliwa. The entire city of New York and the United States country would not be in this position of this fool Mamdani as mayor if not for Curtis Sliwa. And to those of you that supported him, you need to be ashamed of yourself. Oh, he will be a great mayor. No education. He'll be a great mayor. No experience. Oh, he ran the Guardian Angels. He ran them into the ground. They can't even raise money legally. Can you say scam artist 101? It's as simple as that. Yes, that's you, Curtis Sliwa. Time for a break. We are coming right back.
It's Dominic Carter. This is the Worldwide News Network.
Extra. Amid the smashing success of the Michael Jackson biopic, Michael, a Billy Joel biopic, is now in the works.
Sing us a song, you're the piano man. Sing us a song tonight.
Directed by John Ottman, Billy and Me will chronicle the formative years of the superstar singer-pianist through the eyes of Joel's first manager, Erwin Mazur, who discovered the singer back in 1966. Billy Joel himself is apparently not so pleased with the idea. The Hollywood Reporter quotes him as calling the project both legally and professionally misguided.
Moving out.
And to that point, Joel says the project will not be able to secure the music rights required. I'm James Flippin, and this is the Worldwide News Network.
Now, from New York City to the world, it's Dominic Carter.
So, ongoing protests at the ICE facility in Newark, New Jersey. One of the allegations, emphasis allegation, because I don't even know if females are housed there, is that females are complaining at the ICE facility that they're not receiving feminine hygiene products. And the tweet of the night goes to DMS, because I really shouldn't give my personal opinion on this one. But DMS says maybe the females aren't receiving, or she says getting, the luxury brands they may be used to buying with their public assistance check, and simply getting institutional brand. So they're raising a fuss. That is the tweet of the night. I know that if that's the case, that these products are necessary, but do you think I give a whatever about that, or American senior citizens that are starving and can't eat and get their medication within the same month? Do you think I care about women in an ICE facility complaining that they're not getting feminine hygiene products? I know it sounds like I'm insensitive. Or seniors that are American seniors that are hungry and can't pay their rent, or they have to pay the rent or eat, or pick one. And I'm looking at another tweet here. The lovely Liz Rosenblatt. Rose says, boom. And folks, I see all these calls about boom shakalaka. I'm not interested in talking about that. But Liz says boom shakalaka is an exclamation used to celebrate a big success or a great moment. I'm going to be honest with you folks. I did 3 shows yesterday. The morning show, afternoon, midnight. Do you think that I'm going to stop for 2 seconds? I went to graduate school in journalism, right? I'm not just here talking before a mic. Do you think I really care about some nut calling me talking about boom shakalaka? Anyway, let's go to Gracie in Rockland County. Gracie, what's on your mind?
What's on my mind is this. But first, callers, get to the point right away. Don't waste time like I'm doing now. Now, okay. The thing is, I want to say something about the supermarket in the Bronx.
Gracie, I have to tell you this, right?
What, sweetie?
So, things that I do, it's on the radio. It's me naturally, right? So I told you all around the station here, folks walk up to me all day long and they go, Mom Donnie! And I go, what is wrong with you? I look at them that way. And then, so today, right, I kid you not, Gracie, I'm going to let you get to your point. Yes. I walk into the men's room. So based on what you just said, 2 men are in the men's room and I'm trying to get to the urinal and they go, hey, caller, get to the point. And I'm like, wow. Okay, go ahead, Gracie.
Okay, the supermarket in the Bronx. Now, is Mondami going to issue identification cards or so only Bronx people could go so the people from Manhattan don't sneak in?
Hey, Gracie, I got a better question. Who's going to do crowd control outside? There are going to be fights every day.
On the Friday after Thanksgiving, how everybody gets to be animals with the television? Could you imagine what's going to happen?
This is true. Hey, Gracie. Gracie, wait, I got to ask you this, Gracie. So you were an educator in the South Bronx, correct?
Yes, not for very long, but I was.
But I want you to answer this for me. What's up with these kids, urban kids, doing all this breakdancing and flash spending money at high school graduations? What is this phenomenon going on?
It's absolutely ridiculous. They don't have money for food, but they used to, in my day, always had the big boom box. So now I don't know where they're getting the money for the prom dresses and this and that. They want to have something nice. I do feel sorry. They want to, but that's why people are in a bad situation because they don't know how to regulate and save their money and spend it wisely. I know I sound very boring. But
no, you don't sound boring at all. You don't sound boring at all, Gracie. Why do you think I take your calls? Because you light it up. You don't sound boring at all.
Oh,
but Gracie,
thank you.
But you started out with get to the point, right?
Right.
And so I go into the men's room, right? And half the time I'm tired. I don't know where I am. And I hear these guys laughing, and they're like, caller, get to the point. And they're just laughing, and they think there's a punchline for them. My life, my reality. Folks, have a great overnight. I'm back 3 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Eastern. I'll see you then.